Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another story time with 1836 Property Management. This title is When Property Management Goes Wrong, the Real Deal. This video is about the risk involved when an owner wants to do their own maintenance and oversee it, and or the vendors performing the work they want to oversee. They could be connected to them, could not. That's what we're going to dig into today. My name is Matt Leshber, as always, in beautiful Austin, Texas, with 1836 Property Management. Today with me is Janelle, our maintenance service supervisor. He is the one that interacts with our owners and investors to help oversee when a tenant puts out a request or when we locate a problem at a property to make sure that property is properly maintained. So in this real world story, we're going to share with you kind of what happened, what to do, what not to do, and take it from there. So, Janelle, if you would, give us a little story about how we got to this today.
So we had a leak, essentially, that the tenant reported, and it turned out to be from a dishwasher at the property. And that dishwasher was then found to kind of need replacing because it was causing an issue. And this is really to do with the problems that we encountered along the way. So in our interactions with the owner, what we do is obviously we send out an appliance person in this case to address the issue, and then they come back to us with a range of estimates for replacements, and then that's when we kind of really speak to owners about what needs to be done. So in this case, I think we encountered problems from the beginning because there was delays in actually getting in touch with the owner, and then communications were there was kind of misunderstanding because it turned out that the owner themselves had installed the dishwasher previously some time ago. Then they wanted to pursue replacing the dishwasher themselves, which comes with its own amount of problems as well. So really along the way, there was just delays, which could have been helped really, and we could have tried to address this a lot sooner and had a happier tenant as a result.
Absolutely. So there's several things you threw out there that are either contrary to our policies or what we found out over the last 2 decades to be just a bad idea. And it's not that we want the owner to spend more money or that we just want a vendor to go out there versus the owner, but there are ramifications and complications from every action we take. And we've seen all of these go bad. So we don't want people to take a route which is going to put them in a place that they really don't want to be. So give us 4 things that could have gone wrong or that did go wrong with this, just so we can kind of summarize those for our viewers.
Well, I think in the first instance, all of the vendors that we use are kind of vetted, and they have a significant amount of professional insurance, which covers them when they're doing work. And this is not something that your typical rental owner will generally have. So if they're going into a property, then there's always that risk of injury or damage, and that's just an added risk that people can do without, really. The other thing that I think that gets kind of ignored sometimes is scheduling, because when you have owners that might order things from a big box store, they just give you a window of time and that's it. You don't get any further communication from them. But at least with our vendors, they schedule directly with the tenants. They have time window, they check on the day or the day before with the tenant and confirm the appointment, and then they go in and they're constantly speaking to the tenant about what's going on and then speaking to us. And so then if there's any follow-up work as well, if there's any issues with that dishwasher that the owner might have put in or whatever appliance it might be or whatever they're working on, then who would be carrying out that maintenance? Is there a warranty on the work that's been done by the owner or not? So there's a load of issues really that can arise, and obviously these are just scenarios that can happen. Everything could work out fine, but unfortunately we have to think about a lot of things that can happen as a result of this. And lastly, I'd say is that cost-wise, in terms of what you're getting back and sort of headache for owners, would also not necessarily be worthwhile.
No. Who wants to spend their Saturday going to a rental to replace a dishwasher, which is plumbed and hardwired in, and then you'll still have to have 5 trips to Home Depot or Lowe's to see if they have the parts that you didn't know you were missing? hang out with a tenant who's now renting your property, who's telling you everything you never wanted to hear. And for $100, I mean, it's maybe 150. It's just crazy. It's not worth your time and effort. I mean, that's a nice meal with your family. So go spend time with your family. Let the vendors take care of what they do, and they'll warranty it. So tell me this: give me a few things, 3 or 4 things that the investor could have done or did right, or that would have created a positive outcome in this scenario.
I think probably it's just having more trust in the people that we work with, and know that the vendors we use day in, day out. We have constant communication with them, and we use them for a reason, because they give us the most information, they provide a good service and a quality product essentially. So just have that trust in us and our vendors that we will try and get things done, and get them done quickly, and with an outcome whereby the tenant is pleased with what's been going on, and happy again to live in their home.
What about the money? Is there any difference that this would turn out if the owner did it themselves, or is it worth it in your opinion? I mean, I already stated mine. I guess I should have withheld that a little bit. But in your opinion, you do this all day. You have maintenance tasks that come in from 750, 800 properties every day. And so you're seeing the yield, the time, the effort, the complications. What are your thoughts on whether it's worth it or not?
So a lot of the time when vendors go out, they might highlight things that need like preventative maintenance as well. And obviously when we come back to owners, it's not something that they always want to take forward, because it is expensive, and unfortunately nothing's free, and you sort of get what you pay for. So we would always advocate that if we can try and prevent problems and try and spend a little more money to try and prolong, then that's the best case scenario. And ultimately, if we can keep things working in the home, then it's equals a happier tenant who stays in a tenancy for longer, because the costs associated with turnovers is also something that we want to avoid. So we've kind of got the big picture in our minds as well in everything that we do.
Yeah, and keep in mind as an owner, you brought several things to light, but saying one thing wrong could be perceived as a violation of Federal Fair Housing Act, just because you're having a conversation and you say something that gets misconstrued the wrong way. So I can't imagine why my team, you guys, manage my properties, my rentals in Austin. I have another property manager in another state that manages those. And I can't tell you the last time I've even seen those properties, because I trust you guys. I know what happens, and I know what we do and why we do it and why the policies are in place. So one of the other things you brought up, which is going to continue to happen forever, and I just want to point it out as kind of a point of order, is that when owners go online and they select a big box store and they say dishwasher, installation included, go, they think they're saving money. The truth is, what happens after that is horrible. That window can be as much as 8 hours for a vendor to install that dishwasher to show up. Who's supposed to show up and wait? The resident. That is not their responsibility. They have to go to work to be able to pay rent. So who's going to the house to sit there for 8 hours? Because those vendors don't call the day before and go, hey, it looks like we'll be here around 1. Do you mind? They don't call at all. There's no phone number to call. There's an automated service. And that's if they show up on time. Then when they show up, who's going to guarantee that dishwasher's not dented, broken? Then is it installed properly? I mean, there's just a cascade of things beyond, I found it on Google and it's cheaper, that happen after that. And I'm sorry, but using our vendors, we get to hold those vendors responsible. They're expected to deliver service to the client. They're expected to talk to us, talk to those clients, stand behind the work, and show up on time. Those big box guys hire a third party. I don't know if you've seen those guys driving those trucks. I'm sure they're great humans, but it's not pretty the way that happens after you click pay. So if you're an owner considering something for a big box store and you want to do that on your personal residence, man, go for it. But if you want to do that on a rental, it is a horrible idea, bar none. It's not going to go well, and somebody else is going to pay the price of what you think you are saving. You have something to add to that, Jim?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think further along the line, if there are problems, then that warranty, if it's within whatever, if you get an extended warranty or whatever, then you have to deal with that big box store again. And they don't have the Well, firstly, you can't always get through to them. Secondly, they don't have kind of windows where people can go by within a day or two necessarily. They would probably take a little bit longer to go out. And from a tenant's perspective, with being without a refrigerator or washer dryer, whatever it is, for a couple of days or sometimes a week, it's causing angst among them. So usually our vendors are pretty good about going back out to deal with issues as quickly as possible, and I can get them on the phone and kind of try to expedite that as well, depending on what the issue is. So just wanted to add that in, to kind of another factor.
I love it. I love it. Janelle, thank you so much for taking the time today. We'll bring these up from time to time when we feel like we have something that the owners can learn from so that they can avoid spending money. We sometimes have owners that absolutely love us, and sometimes owners think that we're, for some reason, out to get them, and I don't really know why. But all of these things we create are to help owners and investors be successful. To be successful, you got to have happy tenants. So really, all of this information is meant for good. We hope everybody takes it and pulls something from it they can use. We'll come back anytime that we have some other mistakes, sometimes that we make, sometimes other people make. We won't name anybody in those, but we'll bring those to you guys. So thank you so much. If we can do anything for you in Austin, you can always find us online at 1836propertymanagement.com, or just give us a call, 512-994-4323. We're here to help you be more successful as an investor. And we're also here to support your tenants so that you come out with the best deal in the long term. Thanks so much for your time today, Janelle. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all in the next round. Bye-bye.
Thank you.